Good news, guys. We have a window fairy coming. Turns out these same 4 wasps,
Yellow jackets.
these yellow jackets, are trying to figure out what happened to their nest. Sorry guys, pretty sluggish this morning, are we?
Hey.
Instagramming?
Yes. Somebody has to respond to all these inquisitive
I know,
people.
right? If you're wondering, I post stuff and run, and Jesse's usually on.
I'm left with all the aftermath.
All the
I have to
cleanup.
like get out the mop and like clean up Alyssa's mess. She's like, anyway, here's a photo of the house. Click, run. And then I'm like, yeah, yep, no, yes, yep, no, no.
We're super happy. Our friend came to help us install the window. It went really well. Sometimes, not normally, but sometimes you just need an extra set of hands. So we're really appreciative for that. Our goal was to completely finish all the windows today, except we were invited to dinner and we want to take them up on that offer. We haven't seen these friends in a while and we need to live a little bit of life. So we're probably gonna stop at a reasonable hour, which means we're probably not gonna get all the windows done because it seems 6 in a day is pretty good. Remember, we're not just installing the windows, we have a lot of work just to install the window on every window. So I think instead our goal is to kind of get the windows bucked out so that they're ready for windows. And if we can install any, that I think would be a good day. Now that we've had the windows in for a few days, I've really had time to sit and think about our decisions, and I'm really happy with not just like the functionality and size of every single window, but I'm so happy we went with white. The window color was weighing on my mind for weeks as I went back and forth between the Doug fir, which to me was a little more risky but might look better, and white windows, which at first I thought was just kind of white and institutional and boring, I guess. But then I started really thinking about what is good design, and part of me feels good design is timeless design, things that you never get tired of. Let me share an example. Many of you know what LuLaRoe leggings are. I've never owned a pair, but they're really hot right now, especially in crazy patterns like zebra and ice cream cones. And I've had friends that have bought these patterns and then very quickly they're tired of these patterns and they never wear them again, even though initially they just loved them because they were something other than black. But no one ever gets tired of black leggings or blue jeans or a black dress. You get the idea. So they might not be very exciting to buy because they're just kind of boring, but at the same time you never get tired of them. So that's kind of what we're going for in this house design, is we don't want to fall for anything fashionable, we don't want to do anything too adventurous. We want to stick with natural colors. We really want to prioritize letting a lot of light in the house. Nobody has ever said there's too much light in my house, I need to darken it up, but it's very easy to fall for a paint color that's a little too dark, or in our case put fur cladding on the ceiling of the living level. We've decided we're going to paint that white because it's very safe, reflects a lot of light. I think if we're really wanting our house to have some sort of crazy like pop, we can always do like crazy furniture. Not that I plan on doing that, but that's something that you can easily change out. You can easily get a new couch, but you can't easily change your windows. I mean, you can paint your windows and you can paint your walls, but anyone that's ever painted a house, it's not free. I think in my mind we're going to have all the doors white on the inside. I'm really digging like white cabinetry right now, not dark. I'm just in the mood to get all of this dark stuff out of my life, and I feel like we can add the dark stuff back in. Like we can do this really masculine dark leather couch if we want to, and that could like darken up the home, but you can always add darkness, you can't always add more light, if that makes sense. I feel like one reason we all love to escape to nature is because it's just so natural and that's where we're meant to be. We love that the colors are muted, trees are green, the forest floor is brown, And that's kind of what we're trying to like mimic in our home, is we want it to be somewhat naturey, just natural colors, like maybe a stone tile. I guess the point I'm trying to share, if you want to design a house, it's very important to design the house you want for yourself. So everything I just said aside, do what you want, do what makes you happy and you think you'll be happy with long term. But I also want to say, for people that are sort of on the fence like we were about trying something like a little bold that might look better, but you also could potentially get really sick of, or it could really clash, don't be afraid to go just kind of boring and timeless. Something that you're just never gonna tire of. One last thing, you might be asking, why the heck are you doing like a dark roof and dark windows on the outside? And we found that houses that we are personally in love with are these kind of like darker homes that blend into the environment. We really weren't excited about the idea of any colors on the outside or a colored roof. Nothing's wrong with it, it just doesn't speak to us. We like the homes in our area that are kind of like brown and grayish tones. So we decided we can go with brown or probably gray. Anything black, like it is trendy, and I can't deny that it doesn't look good. I'm not talking about windows, I'm talking more like a black roof. And to me, we're gonna have a lot of timber elements on the outside of our house, such as our timber frame roof braces, and eventually we're gonna build a deck in the front. And I want that wood to really pop, which is why we didn't go with brown tones, we're going with gray tones. So a charcoal roof, and then we're gonna do a light gray, either in the same family or maybe a taupe, I think that's how you say it. Siding, the black windows I think are really gonna pop. And then the basement, we're planning on it being completely stone. We hope to do that ourselves. Hopefully we don't have to do faux stone. And I just didn't like the stark white garage doors, and I wasn't digging black. That's just way too extreme. So we're loving like the wood grain garage doors. I feel especially with the deck that kind of separates the basement and the house, there's really no way we can go wrong with a shade of wood and stone. It kind of goes back to that just natural look about our house that we're going for. So you're working on adding the middle shims?
I'm shim scavenging.
Yeah, we're kind of out of our composite shims.
We like the composite shims because they don't absorb water, and versus using a wood shim, the point of shimming them up is to keep them out of any water that should find its way into the windowsill. So if we can use a composite shim, the odds of having moisture damage to a window is much less. And I'm finding that some windows we had to shim very, very little, which means that I can steal all the thicker shims out of here, because they're like, that's a full shim. Yeah. And we can use those on a different window. Whereas this one, I can shove a very thin shim in there and it'll do the same job. So that's working out pretty good. We were worried we were gonna have to use a wood shim. Not that it really matters, but I'm happy to report we won't have to. And that one's a little too thick. How you like that?
I know you guys are tired of hearing me talk, but someone is getting something out of this. So one last thing I wanna share. Because we're building our own house and we're kind of building it as we go, and we don't wanna wait to have it planned out to the nth degree, we're also trying to pick choices that are safe for the future. We don't want to be married to certain materials or colors down the road if they're not actually a good fit. So I think that's one more reason to go with very safe choices, especially early on in the build. Another example is our mudroom door. I was thinking about going with a textured fiberglass that was like a walnut color, super dark wood. But what if we also have a wood floor covering in the mudroom, even though we're planning on doing tile? What if for some reason we do decide to not paint our fur cladding on the ceiling white? What if we decide we don't want white cabinetry or furniture for the mudroom, or nooks, closets, whatever, and now it's like wood coming out of your wood? So even though part of me likes the idea of this like walnut wood door in the mudroom that pops, we settled on white because I feel it's very safe, and there's no way, especially because our windows are white, there's no way that's a bad decision.
Something we kind of learned in choosing our exterior doors, two things. One, clearly we want to build this house. Like, do most of the work ourselves, most being the key term there. You can build a window. We are not going to build a window, so we feel like it's almost like not even a conversation part to suggest that we build our own windows. And I don't think anybody disagrees on that. We just want to say that in case somebody out there's like, you could have made your own windows. You are right, we're not gonna do that. There's certain things about a house that are so critical, and there's so much other work to do that it's worth it for us to buy windows. They are not cheap. Even a cheap window is not cheap. That's one thing. The other thing we learned is that sometimes you find a style of a product that you really, really like, but it's not available in the color or the grain that fits the overall theme of your house. So the back door Alyssa was talking about, we found it in a similar color. It's close, but we're not sure. So we're kind of hesitant, and the door that we selected for the garage is not available in a color that matches the garage doors. So do you start kind of like hedging your bets that this black is kind of like that black?
Yep.
Or is it gonna look wrong? So sometimes Alyssa's taught me it's better to just be safe than to roll the dice and hope that walnut is walnut, because we've looked at 6 different walnuts and they're all different.
Well, it's kind of like I was terrified to do Doug fir windows because I can bet money on it that it's not going to look like our Doug fir frame, because our frame has been oiled with a particular wood. It's going to age at a different rate. I guarantee you, your wood trimmed windows, you're gonna lacquer or something, and those probably won't fade. But
or maybe they will because
fade.
of the UV or
it's
something.
It's hard to say.
Know. Yeah.
It just in the end, like, you know what? Safe.
Dice roll. So that's something to think about. Is sometimes it's better not to match things. It's better to just go with something that makes a lot of sense. And sometimes that's just a boring color.
I know you guys can just see it now. When Jesse and I were dating or whatever, I told him I'm boring, I'm safe, I'm predictable, I'm not exciting, but I'm timeless. And he was like, sold. There's 3 bald-faced hornets flying and rasping on this window. There was only 1, now there's 3. So I'm kind of worried about disturbing them. Probably gonna do it anyways, but man, people say these things are vicious and I don't know if I want to find out. Ah! Nice work.
Yeah.
There's 3 bald-faced hornets on the last window and I don't know if I should move it or not without supervision from an adult.
Stubborn little turds. Wow.
Right?
They really like that paper.
I'm working very close to them, but they're just buzzing all around.
Yeah, they're getting upset because we're taking away their nesting material. It's funny they're finding their way in still. We keep closing windows they were using. Done cutting.
Nice.
Ready to bring it all up.
Sweet.
We'll need to move the trailer and then get the forklift over here.
Okay.
We may have to do this little window from a ladder.
Okay.
Because the
it's so tiny.
Well, the man lift won't fit in there. It's too tight.
Okay.
It's not a big deal. So.
I have 1 window to go, and then everything else is cut. So.
Okay. This is that small window.
Okay.
The small picture window. So if you want to start working on that.
Okay. I'll probably just leave that window. I don't know. Maybe the hornets will die down.
Yeah. Just leave it for now.
And then transom.
This is the transom in the bedroom. Yeah.
Okay.
And these are sills for upstairs.
Smoke settling in the valley, guys. This is kind of how it was last August from my memory. At least it cuts down on the intensity of the sun. Wind doesn't hold.
Wow. Watch out. Watch
It's like the one shirt I own that doesn't have foam on it yet.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no screws on my side. That's super annoying. Yes.
Is that a bald-faced hornet exterminator gun?
About to find out.
I saw 2 of them just fly by a second ago.
Really? There's a little meat bee or something that flew out.
Yeah.
I don't know, pushing our luck.
They're eating our house.
Probably.
Who knew we were making an edible house? I have to share with you how good of a job Alyssa did getting these windows level. Look at that. Wow, good job, love. Give that one a look.
Pretty good at what I do.
Oh yeah. Looks like we get to go to the landfill again.
Yeah.
And again.
Maybe we can do that today.
Maybe. Alyssa's making sure that if nothing, the sill is level, and preferably it tilts out ever so slightly. One more little thing.
Making me nervous.
I know, the camera's making you nervous finally after 3 years.
Two windows bucked out. I think we're ready to start waterproofing the square window. We've gotten creative and found more shims, so we have some big shims and then a few small shims. Here she comes. I'm gonna start with the big shims. Have small shims if we need them. Good? Wow, this is a huge opening. Let me go get my level. You're good on left, right? It's pretty good right there. Good on left, right. I can hold it. Boom. That's a window, guys. Looks freaking good, love.
Yeah.
You ready to be done off this sunny side of the house? I think we should. I think we should go to our dinner date early.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Our friends want to know if we have any jam because they made no-bake cheesecake.
Yeah.
That's why we have jam.
If we aren't careful, folks watching might think we have a social life and that we're not workaholics. So we try to only take a break a couple times a year. That way, you know, people don't get the wrong
message. I think we could do one more, but you're the one in the sun, so you tell me how you feel.
That's not in the sun yet.
Oh, right. Overhang. It is a big window, though. Can you even lift that? I think you can. It's just kind of awkward, but I think if you get it balanced.
Long. Yep. Yeah, I think I can get it. Let's do it.
Good?
That'll do.
Do you feel good carrying the window up that ladder?
Yeah, I think good.
Looks incredible.
Yeah.
I feel like I say that after every window goes in. I cannot wait to sleep under that transom window in our king bed. We've had insane winds this afternoon and we had multiple dust devils just come through here and make a mess out of everything. But because we have the windows on the west side of the house, the dirt's not coming in the house. It's incredible. I mean, we still have the door openings, but we're talking major life upgrades at this point. I think at this point, because there's so much heat on the north side of the house, it is going to be quite the production to resume work. We're going to have to move the forklift over there. We're going to have to buck out those 3 windows. That alone's going to take some time. I think we're going to shut it down now so that we can make a fresh salad and get to our friends at a reasonable hour. We're really happy with our progress today. We're just taking it one day at a time. We're doing what we can. We're living life as it's thrown at us. And one day at a time, this house will and is getting built. I just went and checked on Bugaboo. He's been in the cabin all day in front of the fan that Jesse put on him late this morning.
Is the sun on my butt yet?
No, you're still in the shade.
It's right.
Oh, it's so close.
It's right there. How about now? How much do I got?
Booty not big enough.
Not big enough?
Hey Munchkin, how was your day? You a toasty fish? Maybe in a couple hours you can come outside. Maybe in 2 or 3 more hours.